happy holidays from Parenting Shrink Wrapped. Melissa and Sam here today, and we were discussing what to talk about for the holidays. And the topic we wanted to talk about today was the holiday that is, quote, good enough. And kind of how we've both kind of had to let go of some things over the years with holidays and perceptions and our own performance as parents around the holiday season, which brings with it a bunch of stressors on top of just day-to-day life.
Yep. And so here we are. We'll share our holiday good enough stories. And we'll talk a little bit about holiday strategies so that you can have a good enough holiday that ends up feeling like it should, right? Like it might not look Hallmark on the outside, but that doesn't mean that what it does for you on the inside is anything less. So that's our mission today. Perfect.
We don't
holiday.
live on the Hallmark Channel, Sam.
No. We are not gonna. This is. If you're looking for how to have the Hallmark holiday, turn us off now. This isn't.
You can go turn on your Hallmark Channel.
Yes, they exist. And spoiler alert, here's what happens. You go home to your hometown to see your family for some unexpected reason, fall back in love with your high school sweetheart, and after some disaster in your life has been unfolding, and suddenly everything's better and you reconnect. There you go. That's what happens on the Hallmark holiday movies.
If only it was that simple.
All right. Okay, so speaking of not that simple, before we started recording, Melissa and I were sharing like our own good enough holiday stories. So, Melissa, tell the story about Christmas in a yurt.
So I'm going to back up a little bit because I grew up in a household where Christmas was a really, really big deal. And Sam's going to tease me about this, but my father loves to decorate for Christmas. We would have people driving by our house. We were in the local newspaper many times.
Oh my God.
There was tens of thousands of Christmas lights out, and the entire lawn was decorated.
Yeah. Melissa grew up in the Griswold household. Her dad's name was Clark Griswold.
So Christmas was a big deal. So there was that kind of built-in internal pressure for me that I had to self-recognize about Christmas, because when I became a parent, I'm trying to carry all of this out too. So here I am wanting to decorate, wanting to, play Santa Claus and do all of these things. I mean, I remember a year where I used flour to make Santa Claus footprints from the fireplace to the Christmas tree. But fast forward to my Christmas in a yurt story. So while my husband and I were...
Before you get there, can I just comment on something you said, which is so relevant to not just Christmas, which is like, when you have big traditions in your household and you have fond feelings about those traditions, and then you start your own household, figuring out what you're going to carry forward and what you're going to leave behind, or how you're going to, mend or meld your preferences with your partner's background too. Whether this is a holiday, like a winter holiday, or any other tradition in your household, a cultural tradition, I feel like what you just said is relevant beyond just this holiday season. Just kind of any tradition you're trying to bring into the next generation. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, totally. So fast forward. So my husband and I were building a house, and during building the house, we had sold our current home and kind of ended up with this interim period of where do we live? And anyone who's built a house knows it always takes longer than what you anticipate. And my husband and I are pretty outdoorsy people, as are our children. And so we decided we were going to live in our RV on our property during the house build. So this all should have been completed before Christmas, but because of delays and stuff, we were still in the RV. Anyone who's been in an RV, who's ever traveled in one, ever even just seen one, there's space, but there's not that much space. So
Right. There's not space for usually a Christmas tree, for example.
no. So here I am with this very big internal dilemma of how do I make Christmas happen with 3 young children
Yeah.
and very tight on space.
Yeah. And
Coming
how do you
from
make
a
Christmas happen?
household where this is, you need to decorate.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you make it happen at a Griswold level, right?
so,
Yeah.
so this is where the yurt comes in. So, um, a tradition that my husband and I decided we wanted to do because we were on a new property in a new house we had always done live trees, but this year we were going to buy like a root balled Christmas tree and plant it, so we'd always have our first Christmas tree in the new house.
Oh, I love that.
So
Starting new traditions. Anyway,
starting new traditions.
Yeah.
But we still needed some place for Santa to deliver Christmas presents.
Yes.
And we needed someplace to put this tree. And winter's unpredictable, rain's unpredictable. So I could not fit anything more than maybe like a 2-foot tall, like artificial thing in the RV, which there honestly isn't even really room for that.
Yeah.
I did hang some stockings over the fireplace in the RV.
The RV has a fireplace?
It does.
Oh my gosh, that's quite an RV. Okay,
A lot of RVs have fireplaces.
Is that right?
It's a thing, Sam.
Okay, I'm learning things I didn't anticipate that I would during this conversation.
So, we ended up ordering a yurt and a wood burning stove, and we moved the root ball Christmas tree into the yurt. And on Christmas morning, we had Christmas in the yurt, and Santa delivered presents inside the yurt. And my kids loved it. And it was the most non-traditional thing I've ever done, and it was perfectly imperfect.
That's fantastic, right? Also, it sets the stage for you're not handing down Griswold pressure to your children. You're like this. We can do this. We can make it happen with whatever ingredients we do or do not have.
And the kids didn't care. Like, I was worried as a parent, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin Christmas because my kids can't have a tree. And they're trying to figure out how Santa's going to deliver presents. And we figured it out. It may have taken a little bit of creativity, but it still was an amazing Christmas morning. And I did the same thing I always do on Christmas morning. So I always film the kids going when we were, like, before we had moved out of the other house. Like, it was like, okay, you're walking down the steps to go see Christmas morning. Like, I have it all on video. So instead of walking down the steps, we walked out of the RV, and I have the kids entering the yurt to see what Santa had brought.
That's great. And they'll remember that. I don't know that my children will remember my good enough Christmas mostly because I didn't even put up a tree. Like, it was my good enough Christmas. We were also in flux. We had just moved back into our newly rebuilt home after the rebuild post-tree disaster. So if you've been listening a while, I've referred to this a few times, but in September 2023, a humongous tree went through my home, destroying a third of it and requiring us to move out and rebuild the whole thing. Like, the whole thing was a disaster. And so we had just moved back in like early November before Christmas. And the move back in was characterized by so many boxes, and everything was a disaster and disorganized. And we'd moved in a state of weren't planning to move out. So it's not like I'd cleaned out my house beforehand. No. So I unpacked boxes that had papers I wrote in 1993 in college. Why do I still have this paper?
And that would have been something if this hadn't been like a rushed, unknown tragic event. Like
I
we
would have
never would
shredded
have
that.
packed that.
I would have recycled that, right? Like I wouldn't have. So we were unpacking boxes of all of our stuff and boxes of stuff that we didn't know we had or didn't want. And that had been my last 6 weeks. So Christmas rolls around and my 2 college kids come home. And I called them both beforehand. I was like, listen, I am so sick of packing and unpacking things. And that includes Christmas ornaments. And we can have a Christmas tree. We have an artificial tree. We can have a Christmas tree this year if someone will help me put it up and take it down and decorate it and de-decorate it. Because usually I'm the one spearheading this, and I don't mind because I like that stuff usually. Yeah. And this year my kids were like, nah, because they had just moved too. Like this was a huge.
They were probably unpacking stuff too.
Yeah, like, well, they were unpacking. They had just come back from a semester at college. It was my daughter's first semester at college. Like, I think everyone was just, and we were all as a family so beleaguered from this like this lengthy temporary situation, which you understand. You lived in an RV, right? Like, so anyway, we did not put. No, people were like, nobody said yes to my invitation to be my assistant on the Christmas tree erection, and so we didn't put one up, and we celebrated Christmas. I did hang stockings, and we did have Santa delivered a pile of presents in front of the fireplace. We have a real fireplace, not in the RV, and that was it. That was Christmas, and then we did our like we gathered we called all the family members. We ate good food. We watched TV together. Like we did all of our Christmassy things that you do with big kids, but there was no Christmas tree, and I don't regret it. Now this year there'll be a tree. There's a tree this year. By the time this episode drops, we will have a tree in the Straub household because I didn't like not having the lights. I like it, but I was so
you're doing it for
tired.
yourself. Then I think it's also about, Sam, like doing something that's for you versus just doing something as a parent because you think you need to do something.
Yeah. So let's talk about that right there. Like when you do the holidays that way or anything that way, by the time they're over, like you've hoped that like by putting all the sparkles on everything, like making everything just perfect, that you're going to feel filled up at the end. But most of us end up feeling resentful, depleted, like we have
you may not get the reaction you want out of your child
or your guests or whatever it is, right? Like, again, if you like it, if it's fun for you to put on a big to-do, more power to you with whatever, like however you celebrate whatever your holidays are, right? Then more power. But if that's not your thing, it's okay to own that. And it's okay to, like, if you're going to put forth the effort, understand that that's not going to be how you get filled up this year. And it's also, in some households, okay to not put forth the effort. Again, it wasn't my household. It was okay to do it.
Like hosting, for instance, like if you don't love to cook and like you're supposed to host
I've been catering Thanksgiving for the last 3 years because I don't like to cook. And I was a teacher when I started doing this, and we teachers, I got off like the Wednesday before. That was it. I had one day off. And so I was like, I don't want to spend my one day of my precious vacation cooking. Some people that's a relaxation for them, but for me it was like a chore that just made the kitchen really messy, and I don't like it. So it wasn't like I got it catered, and it was so great. So I spent my Wednesday going down to the caterers in Annapolis, and I stopped by this place that has nice flowers, and I would buy flowers, and I'd get a workout in. I ran an errand on the Wednesday, and that was fine with me. That's all I did.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the message I want our listeners to hear, is that it's okay to not hold yourself to some crazy standard because of something you think you're supposed to do or have to do. Like, do it because it brings you joy if you want to do it. And, it doesn't have to be perfect to end up being a great holiday or a great day. It doesn't even have to be a holiday.
Yeah. So you can let go of some things without giving up. You don't have to like phone in the whole
You
whole
didn't
holiday.
fail like Christmas or Thanksgiving because you catered the food.
No, I think actually it's probably better that I catered the food. Because I wasn't tired, I wasn't grousing about anything. Also, it was catered food. It was really good. You know, it was like these were chefs cooking, not Sam in her kitchen trying to like read a recipe she only does once a year, right? Like,
And who has enough oven space to actually make all the things at once?
not me, but I had enough oven space to reheat it all.
Yeah,
That was a piece of cake. All right. Melissa, another holiday pitfall that needs navigating: extended relatives.
Oh, so I think every family can relate to this. There's somebody in every family, that the distant aunt relative that you see once a year that brings just some sort of baggage or irritation to the mix. And how to navigate that person and how you help your kids navigate that person, because like, okay, so you haven't seen this person in a year. Like, my kids are young, like they may not remember that person, they have no necessarily like memory of that person, and yet my expectation is like, you need to be polite to auntie so and so,
Yeah.
despite the fact that, like, you know, we don't know this person. She might do stuff that's like horrifically irritating to my kids or to me.
So I think that one of the things as the adult who is like shielding your kids from that, but also expecting your kids to adhere to some sort of like behavioral etiquette, you can say to guests ahead of time, including extended family, looking forward to seeing you. This year we will not be talking about my kids' grades or politics. Right? Like whatever your hot buttons issues are. I made those up, you know, but like whatever your by the way, that is such a hot button. Thanksgiving for seniors in high school, like that's one of the things that I have to talk about
Because
with
of
my
college
because they
applications.
sit down, or juniors too, actually. But juniors, it's like, so what do you think about college? And seniors, it's like, so where are you going to college? And a lot of kids by then haven't, like, they don't know. It's not sorted
And
out yet.
some of them haven't finished applications yet. Some of the deadlines aren't even, some of the applications aren't even due at that point.
Right. And so they're like, oh, this is all I think about. I have a break from school. And now it's the topic of my entire dinner time conversation, right? Like, so there are some things that if you know they're going to be button pushers for some member of your family, it's worth preemptively labeling those and saying, these are off limits. We're not going there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also that's like kind of if you're the host too, but what happens if you're traveling for the holidays and you're like going back home where you're not, or going to someone else's house where you're not the host and you're like, oh, I can't make the declaration about what we talk about here. You know, like there's preparation, psychological preparation, I think that we need to do for those things.
Well, and I think you should like talk to your kids and say it's okay to like tell them, like, give your kid permission to say, like, to whoever the person is, like, I'd really rather not discuss that right now. Like, that's an appropriate boundary that you can teach your kid, that if your teen doesn't want to be asked for the bazillion time about their college applications,
Mm-hmm.
and they get asked, I would give my teen permission to say, I really don't want to discuss that, and let them walk away.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't have to do it and they might need coaching on how to do that in a polite way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, Auntie Susan, with all due respect, that's a topic that I'm like so burnt out about talking about. My mom and dad are happy. I'm happy to you can get the update from them, but I would love to talk about not that at this time. Like, just anything but that. Right? So giving some kids would need like a little bit of a script or a role play for that, I think. But they would also need their parents' green light for them to do that, or their parent can step in and say that depending on what the power dynamics or social dynamics are in the family unit.
Well, I think the other thing too that can come up with like the holidays is like when like the expectations around gifts, and like if you're with extended family members and like the horrible gift that comes, and like Your kid's sitting there holding like this most like ugliest sweater
Yeah.
and like
Oh, thanks. I needed a pair of suspenders. Thank you. Right? Thank you. And also, like, I think there are some families too, like my mother was like this, and I think her mother was like this. She wanted her gifts to be life changing for the recipients because she spent a
oh.
lot, you know what I mean? Like, she spent a long time, like, thinking about them, picking them. And sometimes she would pick a gift that was like cool, but like not in a big picture, life changing way, but in the sort of a minute corner of someone's world way, you know?
Mhm.
Like, this is a really neat piece of stationery or something, but, right? Like, thoughtful. So, so there's two elements of the gift situation, right? There's like the receiving, but then if you have a family member who shows love by giving gifts, like that's one of the ways that they show love. How do you, I don't know, the holidays where gifts are exchanged, that can be fraught, I think,
Mhm.
under those circumstances.
And can end up not bringing that other person joy. Like if your
Yeah.
mom, I could imagine with some of these gifts was unintentionally upset, hurt, angry.
All of the above. Sometimes it would be like, "Yay, Christmas! We're so excited!" And now it's guilt soup. Like just like there was, yeah. It would result in this disconnection because, again, there was things riding on the gifts, like into human fulfillment that was riding on the gift exchange that like didn't go in the Hallmark way, and that would disappoint my mom, which would make me either feel guilty or mad, depending on, like, guilty when I was younger, or more mad when I was older. Like, but either way, like, who wants to feel that
Yeah.
on a holiday? And then it's a holiday, so you're like, oh, this is not how I want to feel. We're not supposed to feel this way, which would like amplify the negative feelings. And I feel like that happens in households. So, um, yeah. All right, let's just talk about developmentally. Kids stink, some of them, at inhibiting their reactions, right? Like,
I think at some point in time as a parent, your kid is going to react in a manner that you want to crawl under the table. Like, I mean, I think about the gift scenario. The gift scenario automatically comes to mind for me that it's like, I don't like this. Like,
yeah,
literally, like, and you're like standing there and it's like your jaw just wants to drop open and you just want to like crawl under the couch because it's like, oh, goodness
yeah,
gracious.
right. Some things we think and don't say, but inhibition is an executive function that develops during adolescence. So even, um,
But it's not fully solidified in adolescence
no,
either.
no,
So,
it doesn't. It's not a turn on, turn off. It's a growth. It's a gradual uptick. You turn up the volume on it.
yeah.
So, like, even in early to mid adolescence, inhibition may be tough, or kids may think they're inhibiting, but they have no poker face, right?
Mm-hmm.
So other people can read them, or so
They
it.
may think they did a good job, but
If you have a poor inhibitor, or someone whose social skills are still
developing.
still developing, it is worth going over ahead of time. Like, what do you do if,
Yeah.
so that those kids have a script. Again, anticipatory guidance is something that all children need for new scenarios. And even though they've been through Christmas before, they were a year younger, their brain was a year different than it is now. And who knows what's coming their way. So you have to treat it like
Like
I say Christmas, it's any holiday. Excuse me. I didn't mean to, like,
that.
right. But
So I think the other thing that can happen with teens, Sam, is they may start to not want to participate. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to get dressed up. I don't want to go take the yearly family holiday
oh
photo.
my gosh, every time in my house, because like we would do the holiday card at Thanksgiving, and like getting everybody out there was like herding angry cats. It was
And
so.
and but I guess the question there is too is like, are you doing that for you because you wanted the holiday photo?
Yes.
Like,
I'm like,
and
I would be like, damn it, I want documentation of all four of us together looking pleasant. Get out there. Like, Because sometimes we are pleasant, even if not right now, and we're all in the same place at the same time, so we're faking it. Like,
I have a photo. I think it might have been from last Christmas that my oldest, who is not even truly technically like a teenager yet, like my younger two are like smiling ear to ear, and the best shot out of like taking 5 million photos on my cell phone is like a very like forced smirk at best.
one year, for a holiday card, we got my brother-in-law to take the picture. It was at Thanksgiving. We got the brother-in-law to take the picture, and he got like one picture of all four of us looking at the camera and looking somewhat pleasant and happy. But then the other pictures, like my kids ruined all of them on purpose. They like, they did funny pictures. They would turn around. They would do like, so you know what I did? I was like, I'm embracing this. This is exactly who they are. I was mad, but it was also funny mad, So the front, I put the only picture that was like
Good,
passable, right? And it wasn't even
good enough, Sam. Good enough.
And then I put all the bloopers on the back. I put like 12 different versions of it. And like, it was actually a great card. And it was just exactly who we were that day. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was perfect.
But I think also too, like, there is some normalcy to that. So
Yeah.
like if your teen's giving you pushback, like also try not to take that personally. Like
Right.
it's part of like they're trying to be independent young adults, and they're trying to, kind of assert their autonomy. And that may not be the time you want them to do that.
Right. And therein is raising children right there, right? Like, oh, you're doing your kid thing right here, right now, when it's inconvenient for me. That sounds about average.
Yeah,
right? Like
that's definitely accurate.
So, okay. Also, I think like when it comes to the holidays, again, if you show love through giving gifts, like we're at risk for overspending or overindulging, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, it doesn't have to be that way. Like I just feel like that's also worth a conversation, even if it's just with yourself. Like, let me just have an honest conversation about like, am I putting everything on the line here, or like, am I going to feel regrets or pangs in my bank account come January if I spend in this way in December for the winter holidays? Like, it's not worth that sacrifice. Because what you want is a gift to be purely like a no strings attached, piece of generosity, and we don't want it to come with you you don't give more than you have. That's really like, and I say that emotionally, put on your own oxygen mask first, but practically speaking, don't overextend your bank account either.
Because it's only going to backfire.
Yeah.
I think the other thing with, particularly like if you're buying gifts for your kids, like thinking about like you're long past the toy age, Sam. But the toys that are going to drive you nuts, don't buy them for your child.
Don't buy those. Don't buy the light up dinosaur who goes every time. Like, don't buy that.
My kids got a gift. I didn't buy it. It was a dinosaur, and it came with these different things. It was talking about like teaching your kid like different foods and stuff.
I think you told this story at our last year holiday episode. I remember this.
It would say like feed me, and it would give like an item. It was the most annoying thing ever. And like it became a running joke, but it was like a funny mad kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Like, and I got rid of that toy, and I don't feel any guilt about getting rid of that toy. So like if there's some toy or something that's gonna like really irk you, like it's okay not to buy that toy.
Yeah, don't bring that into your house.
No.
Yeah, don't bring that into your house. All right, so let's end, because this is the good enough holiday. Let's end with like how do we build togetherness when there's a lot of opportunity for great fun things to happen on holidays, right? But as we've kind of discussed with humor and genuineness, there are opportunities for pitfalls too.
Oh yeah.
Right? But like what's your best piece of advice, or what's your input, either from personal experience or clinical experience, if you want to go there, for building togetherness during a day where like you do have a captive audience, like you come together as a family on holidays, right? Like there's
Yeah.
something good to that. What do you think?
I think, really let go of any internal pressure that you're putting on yourself as a parent to have this element of perfection. Like,
Yeah.
and if it's about your kids, like, the kids don't remember the gifts. They forget year to year. So
Yes.
it really doesn't matter what you get them, whether it was the most expensive thing or the least expensive thing on their list. Like, what they remember is the energy that you bring to the day and create for the day. So bringing that love and joy to the table is all that the day needs.
It's all that the day needs. I love it. And you said, let go of the pressure to be perfect. And I'd build on that and add, I'm not changing a thing. I would add also, make space for your children to be just who they are. Like
Even if that means the funny looking Christmas card.
yeah, yeah. My kids are funny. They are funny, and they are not formal people. And they come by that honestly, right? So when
And
I
that's
ask them to do something, yeah.
perfectly imperfectly okay.
Yeah. So we wish you, Melissa and I wish you a perfectly imperfect holiday season, time with your family, whether it's your nuclear family, your extended family. We hope that it's fulfilling, and we expect that it won't all be. And that is totally normal and totally okay. Welcome to being human. Have a wonderful holiday season. You want to close this out? Thanks for joining us on this wild ride called parenthood here at Parenting Shrink Wrapped. We hope today's episode gave you some useful tools and maybe even a few laughs to help you navigate the twists and turns of raising teens and kids.
Remember, parenting is a journey, not a destination. And no matter where you are on the road, we're here to help you stay on course. Whether it's monumental meltdowns, teenage turmoil, or just the everyday chaos, you don't have to travel this path alone.
So until next time, keep your seatbelt fastened, your sense of humor intact, and your eyes on the road. We'll be back soon with more compassionate conversations and practical strategies to support you and your family.
Don't forget to subscribe to Parenting Shrink Wrapped wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you've enjoyed today's show, we'd love it if you'd leave us a review and share it with a friend.
If you have suggestions for topics you'd like to see us cover in the future, feel free to send us an email at parentingshrinkwrapped@gmail.com.
Until we meet again, take care and enjoy the ride.